This trailer sucks. This trailer is a giant steaming pile of crap. This movie looks disgustingly awful. I mean, wretchedly bad. This almost looked like a gang from Saturday Night Live said, hey, let's put together a really crappy trailer. I'm purposely bad. And let's get Zac Efron to be in it with this. This is terrible. First of all, I don't buy this dude as a DJ at all. Secondly, it just panders to the whole, younger generation things of, I don't actually want to work for anything. I just want to do something in my bedroom and get rich and famous. And then it's the freaking Josie and the Pussycats Jim and the hologram thing all over again. Bunch of friends are going to make it big in the music business. Oh, and then the big media moguls come around and want him to ditch his friends and do it on his own and all the friends. And then the power of friendship will save everything at the end. This looks awful. Zach, what are you doing? Anyway, so
we are friends. Friends. We are friends.
3 weeks ago, Aaron and I and Dennis did a video, and we're just going to show you this little clip of something that I may have predicted 3 weeks ago. If you're going to go that way, you're right. It brings up the names like Carl Urban. But I can guarantee you this, Dennis. I was telling this to Aaron off screen. I guarantee you, Warner Brothers, the very first person they've called about this is Ben Affleck. I guarantee you he was the first person they called. I highly doubt he would take it. But Affleck is a golden child for Warner Brothers right now. So I don't think he's going to take it at all, but I think he's the first guy. Okay, so once again, we learn the valuable lesson. I'm always right. 60% of the time, I'm right all the time. I sell everything about this. I sell absolutely everything about it. First of all, what brain trust that makes 7 figures came up with the frickin' name Robin Hood effing Origins? Seriously, what brain trust came up with that? Morons. Absolute morons. That is the stupidest title for something like this. Oh, and we're Lionsgate. And by the way, I like Lionsgate a lot, okay? But call it what it is. We're Lionsgate. Let's see 3 other studios got Robin Hoods coming out. Let's make one too. Stupid. This is absolutely stupid. There's nothing fun about this. A futuristic one. Kate, that's a different take and all that. Get it? Shared universe Robin Hood? What? Robin Hood Origins? Like what? One of the comments I made was, hey, man, I don't want a 105-pound Wonder Woman. But the reality is, I mean, you can put any actor or actress in the gym, give them a few gallons of horse steroids and say, go for it, give them the right trainer, and they can bulk up. I mean, and that's fine. The whole issue with the boobs thing, this is one thing I never understood. I never understood the fanboys who get online and complain about her boob size. Look, I get it. If they were making a biopic about Dolly Parton, who, look, in all seriousness, her breast size is, in pop culture terms, that's kind of an identifying factor of Dolly Parton. Then it's an issue. Wonder Woman doesn't have magical boobs. Her boobs are irrelevant. That means nothing about the character. Some artists draw are a little more hefty. Some artists draw are not. It doesn't matter. So I've never understood that complaint whatsoever.
The boobs thing, I think all boobs are magical. I don't care how big or small they are.
He doesn't necessarily have to have been Robin. You can come up with a million different reasons and excuses why the Joker at some point ended up murdering the ward of Bruce Wayne. Even if he wasn't Robin as a child, you never have to go into that problem area of Batman, this post-Christopher Nolan Batman, taking a child into a war on crime. You can just say he was his ward, he was his adopted son or whatever, and the Joker, through one way or another, through one set of circumstances or another, ends up murdering the ward of Bruce Wayne, whether that's Jason Todd or a young Dick Grayson or a Tim Drake or whoever it is.
I'm really shocked how many people have been writing to me, like on Twitter and on Facebook. By the way, I love it when you write to me on Twitter and Facebook, but asking that question ever since Kevin Feige said, yeah, I think the next Spider-Man, we're probably going to aim for like 16 or something like that. There's a lot of people saying, well, then there you go. If you're going to have a 16-year-old Spider-Man, then you can have Robin. Okay. I'm not exactly clear about one has to do with the other, but one of these two, people is a superpowered being that can literally lift 10 tons over his head, have spider sense, reflexes of the gods, goes toe-to-toe with Venom and the Hulk and the Juggernaut and fights him on the other is a 13-year-old with a stick. So I'm not really clear here how there's any sort of correlation between Spider-Man and Robin. Listen, I've said this before. I love the Robin character. I'm really curious to see how the Russo brothers are going to handle this, because I'm always saying, don't worry about overcrowding. I'm starting to worry about overcrowding, and not just the overcrowding issue, but the other thing I brought up a few weeks ago is that even if it doesn't feel overcrowded, it's starting to feel less and less like a Captain America movie. And after seeing Winter Soldier, I really want this to be a Captain America movie. So who knows? The Russo brothers have pulled it off before. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, believe they're going to do it again. But I will admit, I'm a little bit worried at this point. Mark, how do you see this whole thing?
I think fire marshals are going to hate this movie because we're just about at capacity, kids.
So I'm not a blind J.J. Abrams fanboy, but we're all very aware of how good this guy, what he's done with Star Trek, I thought is incredible. But as far as, the huge, do we have high expectations? Yes. But what JJ has working for him and what Lucasfilm and Disney have working for them are that the prequels are so bad that the bar is not that high right now. Like I am just on my knees every night. Just make it pretty okay. Give me a Star Wars movie that's at least just pretty okay. Make it even good. Make it good. Like this Star Wars movie, this first one, I actually believe it's going to be awesome. But it doesn't have to be awesome. Just make it good. And those of us who suffered through the era of the prequels, we're going to be really happy. And it'll be a good starting point, and hopefully they'll get better from there. But I also think the chances are pretty good that Abrams is just going to give us one hell of a Star Wars movie. What you guys have meant to me personally, and I know I speak for everybody on our team, what you guys have meant to us and me as we've gone down this journey together of just talking movies, but then getting to share each other's experiences has been incredible and life-changing and something I will never forget.
Well, hello there, friends. John Campea here, senior editor of the Movie Blog, and if you don't mind, I'd like to take just a few moments of your time to discuss an issue that causes me a great deal of personal stress and quite frankly pisses me off. You see, despite the fact that it's 2009, the vast majority of movie theaters in North America today still do not offer us the ability to pre-select our seating before going into the movie, and quite frankly, that's retarded. Now, to give some context to this frustration of mine, let me tell you a couple of examples of midnight screenings that I went to. The first was a few months ago when the new James Bond film Quantum of Solace was coming out. I was in Hollywood, so what I did was I went to the website of the ArcLight Theater here in Hollywood, which offers pre-selected seating. I went to the website, picked the show time, the 12:01 in the morning show. Then it opened up a screen, asked me which seats I would like to have. I selected my seats, bought my tickets, and my process was complete.
Michael Caine said Johnny Depp is going to be the Joker and Philip Seymour Hoffman is going to be the Riddler. Now, I sat down with this for a bit and kind of analyzed my, my film punditry opinion about this. And I formulated one word that kind of encapsulates the spirit of the story.
Glorious?
Bullshit!
Oh, that's 2 words.
Bullshit!
When they finally did open the theater doors and let us in, people rushed in like a bunch of cattle running from the slaughterhouse because nobody had their seats yet. Everybody had to rush in, even though they bought tickets weeks in advance, to find a seat for themselves. Poor suckers who showed up with, say, only an hour to go until the movie, ended up with absolutely horrible seats, couldn't sit with their friends that they came with, and then generally had their movie watching experience ruined. Now, once you got into the theater, the battle wasn't over. Inevitably, you had some jackass sitting there with one seat and then 2 jackets spread over 7 other seats, saving seats for their 7 jackass friends who couldn't be bothered to show up early. So even though you showed up 2 hours early and put in your time sitting on that concrete, no, this jackass and their jackass friends had to save their seats so they could stay at home while you sat in line watching the final episode of Lost.
As long as you go back into our history, we are a species of storytellers. Whether it's carvings on the wall or stories by the campfire, we love stories, and that's how we communicate our heritage, our culture, our ideals, our dreams, our goals, everything about them, and it's captured in movies. And as a human race, it is the one thing that we all share in common. Saddam Hussein loved Hollywood movies. He loved The Godfather. And there's something interesting about that when you can sit down at a table in a group of people. If you want to be like Saddam Hussein, as a group of people, you can sit down with anybody that you have nothing in common with in the world, but you can talk about movies. That's fucking awesome. Woo! All right?
Yeah.